the best investment I ever made for beauty was breaking up with bad boyfriends. And that, my friends, is free. And that is the glow up you do not know you need. It's not just about bad boyfriends. It's about bad jobs, bad environments, bad friendships, bad relationships, anything that is not serving your highest good. When you own it, own your part in it, and then change the environment or change the variables in your life, you glow different. Welcome to Old Money, a show dedicated to helping you build the trust fund you wish you were born with. Ladies who lunch, listen up. Life is not about looking rich. I want you to build a life and a legacy that feels rich in every sense of the word. If you're ready to stack cash, talk shop, and trade insider secrets, you're in the right place. These are the new rules to old money, so let's get after it. Hello, rich girls. Welcome back to Old Money, the podcast to help you build the trust fund you wish you were born with. I am your host, Amber Frankhusen. I am here with my co-host tonight, Poppy Frankhusen, my dog, my chow, who's sitting right next to me, and she is in the grumpiest mood. So if you hear her growling, howling, barking, woofing, she's in the background. She's here. She's trying to be a part of the situation. I can't not be at home recording a podcast episode, being cozy, and not have her by me. But also, she's the worst thing to have around when I'm recording a podcast. So please excuse her if you hear her in the background. But we are here today with a bit of a controversial episode. So I have been debating on whether or not to put this episode out for about a year, because it's actually a compilation of things that I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time. And I didn't know if it were appropriate, because I'm not here to offend people. I'm not here to turn people off or give them investment advice. This is not investment advice. Take a shot. But there are some things that are real for me when we're talking about the best and, more importantly, the worst investments I've ever made in my life. And we're going to go through those today. And I'm not just going to spill the tea on what those are, but I'm going to tell you how much they cost me. And this might be something that you do for work. It might be something that you buy. I'm not here to shame anyone or claim that I know the right way, but I am here to tell you my experience. And I hope that through the mistakes that I have made, you can save yourself some money by not also investing in these things unwisely, or considering some of the things that I believe have had the best ROI in my life. And maybe you want to reroute some of your funds to those things. Now, speaking of routing funds, when this episode drops, it's going to be January 14th, which is the last day of open enrollment for Cash Consciousness. Cash Consciousness is not just an online course. It is the entire mindset that has transformed my life and has also, as we've gone through the experimental rounds of this, transformed the lives of a lot of rich girls in taking you from completely Jesus take the wheel with my money to actually managing your money. It is designed for high earning women who are in that exhausting cycle of overspending, being in debt, not being able to follow a budget, buying all the budgeting tools, things not sticking. I don't know why I keep overspending. I don't know why I'm in this cycle. I want to be investing, but I don't have enough money left over at the end of the month. All of those questions, all of those chaotic financial fight or flight thoughts that are happening in your body. This entire program is a 7-step process, 7 dimensions to go through to completely transform your relationship with money. We're going through everything from assessing the damage, figuring out where you got all of that programming about money from that you're probably not even conscious to. We're talking about creating all of the systems, the details, all the things that you need to set up in your life to simplify your money plan. We're talking about the diary, the dating, the devices, all of the things that I have done so that my money program runs in the background of my life and fully supports me in living the lifestyle I want. It's not about restriction. It's not about crash dieting with your money, as I like to call it. It's about saying goodbye to financial freakouts and starting to really own and grow up with your money so that it is something that serves you and supports you versus causes you chaos. So I'm saying this at the top of the show because I want you to know that tonight, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, January 14th at 11:59 p.m., The special offers are going to expire, which are 2 pieces of merch if you register before January 14th at 11:59 p.m. Again, that's the hat and the sweatshirt that you get when you register today before 11:59 p.m. and you're going to get in at the lowest price. I am raising the price. You can still register if you're hearing this after January 14th, but it will be at a slightly higher price. There will still be a payment plan so that you can pay over the course of a couple of months. I want everybody to start the program together because I'm going to be in the group. I'm going to be leading the group. I'm going to be present with the group as we're going through this process. So I want you to go at the pace that we're doing it as a group, because having the power of community is really what's going to change the game for this. Again, it's not just a course. This is a system that you are going to take with you into your financial future to create financial calm, to create financial certainty, and to give you more confidence with your money. So again, if you're interested in registering, it's oldmoneypodcast.com/cash. The link will be in the show notes, oldmoneypodcast.com/cash. You can register before or after January 14th. It's just going to depend if you get the bonuses or not. So I just wanted to get that out of the way at the top of the show. So if you've been thinking about it, you have a lot on your mind, it's been a busy start to the new year, and you are considering it, now is the time to act and get those bonuses. You are going to want this Old Money sweatshirt. I'm wearing it right now. I have not taken it off in literally 2 weeks. Anyway, let's get into the show. Let's start with a little kiki, a little catch up. How's it going, girlies? Let's do our favorite, the birdie and bogey. If you don't play golf, it's okay, neither do I. But just to give you a refresh, a birdie is the score in golf when you get 1 stroke under par. That is good. A bogey is when you get 1 stroke over par. That is bad. I'm just here helping you prime for the country club with the vocabulary you need so you look good on the link. So in this segment, I'll let you know who or what got my birdie of the week and who or what missed the mark and got a bogey. Starting with the birdie, I don't know what it's like to live a life where your best friend lives in the same city as you. But right now, presently, my best friend is in the same city as me. She has flown her ass across the country to spend the week and the weekend with me, helping me with a very, very special secret project that I am so grateful for, because not only is it a secret project, but she is the literal expert in this area of expertise. And we've been having the most fun, kikiing around, hanging out. She's staying in an Airbnb like 4 blocks from my house. And it is a dream to be like, hey, I'll come pick you up and let's go to Underbelly for dinner. Let's get ramen. Let's go to coffee. Let's do this. We've had such a fun time. And I've noticed in my life, I'm very much a one-on-one girly. Like, I thrive and feel connected with my girls when we are together one-on-one. And because of that, I have amazing, deep friendships with really incredible women. But it's not like we have a group of friends. These are all women from different aspects of my life that I'm very, very close with. But none of them live in the same city or near me. I have one best friend who's visiting me now who lives in Washington, D.C., another super close girlfriend who lives in Central California, one who lives in LA, one who lives in Orange County. And it's just different when you have to plan to go visit a friend versus dropping by somebody's house and grabbing them for a meal, or hanging out like on your couch with your dog and playing, and there's no schedule. That type of camaraderie and ease is so taken for granted. Honestly, I took it for granted rather when I was younger and I lived in the same city as all my friends, and it was so easy to like bop around and hang out so nicely. So for me to just have that connection with my girlfriend, to quote the great Vicki Gunvalson, my love tank is full, and I'm just so at peace. And it feels so nice to have a friend that's close, and it's just amazing to hang out. It's absolutely my birdie. And in thinking about this, as I knew she was coming to town this weekend and I was really excited to be spending time with her, kind of reflecting on my friendships in general. Because when I was in high school, when I was in college, when I was in my early 20s, I sometimes felt a bit insecure about the relationships I had in my female friendships, because it didn't look for me like I thought it was going to look. I didn't have a crew of girls that we were inseparable. I definitely had like a great group of girlfriends when I was in high school. But in fact, one of my closest friends in high school, I was basically in an abusive relationship with, and I didn't even know it until I started going to therapy. And I ended up breaking up that friendship, I didn't trust myself and my personality and knowing that it was safe to say something like, I don't do as well or feel as secure in a group of really entertaining, hysterical, hilarious people. I need to feel one-on-one connection in order to really make a good connection with someone. And that makes me feel safe and that makes me feel close to somebody else. And I would sometimes feel lost in a big group. And I also had insecurities about the number of close friends that I had. I remember being young, like very, very young, and being like, who is my best friend? Everybody has a best friend. And I never really knew who my best friend was. And I felt like it changed all the time. And that's okay. I think I'm here to just say that's okay. And I think as I've gotten older and I've gotten more, I'm going to say it, successful, my circle has gotten smaller. And it's certainly not because I have vibes about like everybody out there is out to get me or nobody deserves my time. It's nothing like that at all. It's just that as things get more, I don't know, higher stakes or more sensitive in nature, or there's bigger wins or bigger losses, there are only so many people that you want to share that with that you know will have your back when you're at the highest of highs or the lowest of lows. I mean, I have fully gone through breakups where I've been catatonic in my best friend's guest bedroom, catatonic with her spoon feeding me soup like she was Charlotte and I was Carrie. In fact, that was Charlotte. It was a Charlotte in my life, but I was Amber and I was literally unwell. I wasn't left at the altar like Carrie and Big, but it was the same situation. And yet that friend and so many of my other close girlfriends will be the first people to cheer me on or support me or remember something that's important to me. And listen, not everybody can give you all of the love and attention that you need or deserve, and you can't give it to everyone either. I'm very much more about investing in deepness as opposed to broadness, I guess I would say. For me, that has made my life so much richer despite the initial insecurities I had about my friendships. So my birdie this week is female friendships, having your girlfriends close, having them in the same town as you, having them in the same freaking, not even going to say zip code, but time zone. Oh my God, in the same time zone. There are some things in life I will never understand. Time zones are one of them. Currencies are another one of them. And betting on sports. Justin, this is your shout out for the episode. I will never understand what a money line means or what a spread is. So sorry about it. Anyway, let's switch over to the bogey, which is something that I am going to tell you guys. This is a personal detail. It's something that I want you to be prepared for. It's going to happen later in this year, and it's going to be disruptive to the show. It's going to be disruptive to my life. It's not something that I'm looking forward to, but it is a result of something that happened to me when I was 18 years old. Let me set the scene for you. I was 18 years old. It was Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve. I had the cutest boyfriend in high school. I loved him so much. He was a sweetheart. He was a soccer player. He was tall. He had a hard head, and he was not very coordinated or like, I would know he was coordinated. He was a great athlete, but he was not very graceful. And so it was Christmas Eve and we were at my mother's house wrapping presents, actually for my mom. It was very sweet. And we were upstairs in the house wrapping the presents, and we were going to take all the presents that I had wrapped and we had wrapped together and take them downstairs to put them under the Christmas tree. And as we were getting up to take the presents down to put them under the Christmas tree, I bent down to pick up a present at the same time he was standing up from picking up a present. And this beautiful soccer player's blonde head smashed into my face and broke my nose so badly that the bone came through my skin and immediately started gushing blood. I'm talking about like it was a Dexter crime scene. I remember feeling it going, oh no. He immediately turned white. I have never seen him look so scared before. As I was walking out of my bedroom, I went past our linen closet. I will never forget it. I grabbed a white beach towel. It was a Corona beach towel that my uncle had given us randomly. Huge beach towel that he got in Cabo. I put it on my face. I looked in the mirror. I saw the bone coming out of my face. I said, oh my God. And within the time it took me to figure out what was going on with my face, the entire white beach towel was soaked red. Thank God I called my dad. He came and like zooming around the corner, picked me up, took me to the hospital. It was the most traumatic experience for us both because they sequestered me away from my boyfriend before they could even treat me for my broken nose, very broken nose. They sequestered us apart, and were trying to ask me questions and say, are you safe? Did you get beat? Of course, it looked like he had literally kicked my ass, but I swear on everything that's holy, it was a legitimate accident. He would never harm a fly. I was freaked the fuck out. They were questioning him. It was a whole situation. I'm sitting in the Folsom Mercy Hospital, literally with my nose broken. And thank God our family doctor had just happened to walk by. He's been my mom and dad's doctor forever. He sees me. He's like, oh my God, gets me in there. This starts the saga of the broken nose. It was 2004 when that happened. And I remember I was so messed up. Black eyes, black and blue, so much pain. And they said it, right? But they couldn't cosmetically really fix it right at that moment. And it wasn't until my freshman year of college, when I was home for Christmas break, that I had my first surgery to correct my nose. And that surgeon did such a bad job. I had so much scar tissue that about 10 years later, I think it was like 2014, I had to get a revision rhinoplasty done because there was so much scar tissue in my nose that I had complete blockages of my nasal passageways. And when I had to call to get the post-operative or the operative notes for my second surgery, I found out that the doctor that had done my initial surgery, he had literally lost his freaking medical license for malpractice. He was doing some sort of like 360 lipo Brazilian butt lift situation, and people sued him for malpractice so many times that he literally lost his license. That's who my insurance company sent me to fix my nose when I was 18. Then I got the revision rhinoplasty. I had an amazing doctor. If you live in Folsom, Dr. David Kaufman, he's a Navy SEAL. He was absolutely incredible. He's done my friend's boobs. He's a great doctor. He's so lovely as a person. Great experience with him. Unfortunately, and this is not his fault, I have had some issues with my nose since then. I've literally had a sinus infection since like 2019. I have issues. I have a deviated septum again, and I don't have enough cartilage that's holding up my nose. So on the first day of this year, well, the first business day, the second, I had a consultation with a plastic surgeon I was referred to through my ENT, my ear, nose, and throat doctor. He took one look at my nose. He goes, oof, yeah, you have nose support. You're going to need to get that fixed. I have no breathing through the left side of my nose. I have very limited breathing through the right side of my nose. And therefore, I'm going to need to get a third rhinoplasty this year. I'm not happy about it. I am actually dreading it. The first was so traumatic for me and so painful and horrible that even the second one, which wasn't as big of a deal, was still absolutely treacherous. So I know this one will not be as bad. Actually, the most beautiful person that I know in my life, like the most objectively beautiful person that I know, got their nose done by this doctor. So I'm feeling very bullish about the outcome, feeling very confident about it. I am not feeling great about having that on my calendar this year. In light of all of that, I'm still going to try to figure out how to get it covered by insurance, at least a little bit. And hopefully this will be a good investment in my face in the long run. But I will, at some point this year, have a nose cast. I'll probably sound a little congested on the podcast. I just want to keep you up to date. So if this is you, if you've had a rhinoplasty, if you have any tricks of the trade, techniques that you wish you would have known, would have done, would have seen, if you have any inspiration for my nose, send it my way. I like how my nose looks, by the way. I'm not upset with the aesthetics of my nose at all. I like my nose. It doesn't look like it looked originally, but I like where we ended up. So I don't have any major aesthetic concerns, except for the fact that I will need to rebuild the tip and the structure and get rid of the rest of the scar tissue that is formed on either side of it. Anyway, I just thought you guys should know. That's my bogey. So anyway, it will be an investment in myself this year. I'm just eager to get it over with. So with that being said, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope the start of your new year has been as peaceful as it can be, despite all of the craziness that is going on. I want to do a quick shout out to everybody in Los Angeles, everybody affected by the fires. I feel like everybody in my network has been affected in one way or another. I know a lot of people personally who have lost homes, who have lost sleep, who have lost peace, who have been worried about people that they love. I'm based in Southern California, but I am in San Diego. So many of you reached out to me to see if we were okay. And that is so sweet. I love our network so much, and I'm so grateful for that. But we are in San Diego. It's been so strange because it feels so normal here and so many horrific things are happening just so close to us. But I wanted to do a quick shout out for Global Empowerment Mission. I have found out about this charity actually through Bethany Frankel. If you remember, Bethany Frankel started the Be Strong Foundation. And I really always liked her approach because the foundation that she had started was all about mobilizing, not just getting people gift cards or Visa cards so that they could buy the supplies that they need, but also to spur economic impact in those communities that needed to be rebuilt. I'll give you a really good example. If you think about Asheville, North Carolina, after all of the hurricanes and the floods and the mud and all the things, if you just bring and drop off supplies, that's great. But not only homes are decimated, businesses are decimated too. And we need to help those business owners get back on their feet. So giving people Visa gift cards on the ground, number one, it really helps them with their dignity because you're not just giving them things that they don't need. Nobody needs hand-me-down clothes. They need to rebuy new things, maybe specific baby formula or specific diapers or specific food or whatever it is, things that serve them. And then it also gives a benefit back to the businesses as well. In addition, Global Empowerment Mission, which is now what Be Strong is associated with, has one of the best ratios of donations to impact, basically. There's a better word for it. But essentially, their administrative costs are incredibly, incredibly low. They have a fantastic and very high rating on Charity Navigator, and they are always boots on the ground when something like this happens. So Global Empowerment Mission, I just wanted to shout them out. That's where I now always choose to send my money in case of a disaster and if I want to make an impact. But I just also wanted to remind us all, please do not, as my friend Jamie so perfectly put it, please do not be a trauma junkie. I know it feels like you're doing something to watch all the TikTok videos, to get so immersed in the news, but it actually is not healthy. We have so much information that is coming at us all the time. You should 100% be informed. You should know what's going on, but don't indulge yourself in what the algorithms are giving you to be a trauma junkie because it lowers your vibration. You need to be in a high vibration state, a positive mindset. You need to be motivated to go to work, support the people, be the light, be the peace, be the one to give support, be the one to open your home to somebody that needs it, or to open your wallet to give in a way that's going to make an impact. That is going to be more productive than you overdosing on all of these traumatic stories and sad things. I'm not saying put your head in the sand. I'm saying take care of yourself and your soul. I just wanted to say again to all the people that are in LA that are affected by the fires, I love you. We love you. We are supporting you. If there's anything that we can do to help as a community, please always feel free to reach out to oldmoneypodcast@gmail.com. I love you so much. Let's get on to the main topic of today. Hard left turn into the thing that I said was a little controversial. The first one I think is going to be controversial. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you, I think I have 4 main topics for my 4 worst and 4 best investments of my life. Some of them are personal, some of them are business. We're going to get into it. The first one here is the thing that I was the most afraid to talk about, okay? And it's an investment for my business. I will start off with the cost. I paid $2,500 a month for 4 months. So a total of $10,000 over 4 months for this service that is targeted to entrepreneurs way before they need it. I thought I needed it and my ego thought I needed it. And the service that I paid for, that gave me no measurable ROI. And the more that I see people do this thing, it also gives them no measurable ROI, even at the grandest scale. And that is PR services. Listen, I already know there are probably 3, 4, 5 people that are listening to this that are public relations professionals and they want to kill me. I do not think that PR is bad at all. But it was wrong for me as an entrepreneur in the stage of business that I was in. and it made no difference for me. And it's one of the things that I see a lot of our clients invest a lot of money on and not get an actual return on. And I want to talk about why that is. Okay, so now Poppy has just been moved to sit right next to me so we can talk to you about PR. So let's talk about what happened with me. I, about 2 years ago, invested $10,000 into another woman-owned business that I was really excited to work with because they had made me some really great pitch deck that told me about all the publications that they could get me into that would build credibility for me and my company. And they had some really good results for the clients that they had worked with, but those clients were in a specific industry that I wasn't in. But I was confident because we were going for local media in San Diego that they would be able to help me get some exposure. And they also said they had really good ties with a publication I really wanted to get into. It's a business one and it started with an F. So I get into the arrangement with them. And the thing about PR is that you are relying on two major, I would say, not skills, but like promises of the PR agency. Number one skill or promise is that they're going to write a really compelling pitch about all of the things that you're doing. So what usually happens is that if you're a business owner, I'm just going to use like myself, like a service-based business, they're going to be like, tell us your story. What's interesting about you? Oh, wow, you quit your corporate job and you started an agency and oh, wow, you're doing these things and that's a big brand and that's a cool project. And they hype you up because they're trying to figure out what the angle is, right? PR is all about pitching to publications. Public relations is all about connecting information, stories with people who can write about it, right? It's called earned media, when you can pitch a story and then somebody writes about it. The second promise or skill that you're hoping that this PR company has is they have good media relations. That means they have connections with people that are writing stories about something that you might be able to be a contributor in or be relevant in. And you're banking on the fact that they have relationships where they can pitch a story to somebody that will listen to them and not just send out a boring press release that gets picked up on the wire and published in some bumfuck magazine and who knows where. So the reason it was a bad investment for me is because I was hoping it was going to be a shortcut to getting me exposure that would produce new leads for my business. And that is not usually what happens with public relations at this scale. Typically at this scale, what you're looking for is mentions or contributions to legitimate news sources that build your credibility and show others your social proof. It's not usually likely that you get a feature in the business magazine that starts with an F and then your phone starts ringing off the hook. I know a ton of people who have been published in that magazine, that online magazine, and many others. And what it does is it gives you the authority to put all of those big brand names in your bio or on your website. I was in Business Insider. I was on the Today Show. I was on this. I was on that. Now the Today Show is a different thing, but it's actually not. So the thing is, I was expecting for people to be calling me because they saw me in some sort of publication, but that usually doesn't happen. Normally it's a credibility builder where you can say, I was featured in this, that, and the other thing. And that shows people when they get to your website, when they get to find out about you, oh, wow, this is somebody that matters. Look at all these other publications that care about this person. I should care about them too. So my expectations were wrong there. The other thing that I did know, but I didn't know how deep it ran, was that a lot of these different places where you can get placements are pay for play. Earned media is when you earn a story and somebody writes about you. I'm going to give you a great example about that. I have a great relationship with the real estate editor of the San Diego Business Journal. He's this old guy named Ray. I love him. He's so great. I've worked with him for years, pitching projects. And when I have something that's interesting to him, I'll call him and let him know what's up. I'm like, hey, Ray, I've got this project. This developer's doing it. It's interesting because of X, Y, and Z. I think your readers might be interested in it and I can give you some inside information. So I have a direct connection there. That's earned media. I'm going to earn it by pitching it to him. And he doesn't always take the stories, of course, but there's a lot of times where then I have an article or a mention in San Diego Business Journal, which is a great place for me to be. But pay to play means if you want to be featured in this magazine or that magazine, you can be featured in this magazine or that magazine. And most of them, remember now, are digital online magazines. And you can do that if you pay to participate, meaning you pay them a multiple $1,000 fee per year to be able to put on your LinkedIn page, your hero image of your website, your whatever it is, and say, I was featured in blank. And the reason you're featured in blank is because you're paying them to be featured in blank. So when this PR agency had that really good connection at the business magazine that starts with an F, I was so excited. They were like, we can almost guarantee that we'll get you placed there. And they did. I got interviewed by somebody at the magazine. I got passed along to this person who basically had me apply to become a member of this system or whatever, where I would then be a featured person for this business magazine and I could use it on my marketing to showcase my expertise. Now, at that time, I did not have the money for it. I do now have the money for it and I could apply and go do that. I just don't think it's going to bring me new clients. It's probably going to solidify the desire for people to want to work with me after they already found out about me. But I don't need that credential anymore. My credential is the work that I've done for other developers. It's the work that my agency has done, my team has done for brands. It's the work that we do on social media every day. It's the night and day difference of our before and afters of taking over a social media page and actually getting results for people. That is the credibility builder. I don't need to have a business magazine to build my credibility anymore. I'm not saying it would hurt, but I'm not going to pay for it right now. It's just not my priority. So let me tell you another thing. I spoke with somebody this year who had reached out to me about social media and branding services. They wanted to hire AF Marketing for marketing support. And the reason they wanted to was because they created a course. This was a very smart, very successful woman out of New York City. She had a storied career in finance and she cracked the code. She decided to make a course about how to start a business like hers. And she hired a PR team and she went on 10 different TV shows and news outlets. I'm talking about the big ones like ABC News. She was on major television networks pitching what it was that she was doing. But the problem was she sold no courses. So she got all of these clips from all of these TV shows. She started a social media page. She posted them on social media. She was like, nobody's following me. Nobody bought my course. I went on all these TV shows and I didn't get any sales. And the reason that happened was because she did not have a marketing machine behind her to support what she wanted to sell. You cannot go on a TV show, send people via a QR code to a sales page, and then expect them to buy from you when they don't even know you. You need to create a relationship with people. You need to talk to them. You need to provide value. You need to be trusted. You need to demonstrate the value over and over and over again before people are going to want to buy from you. Because typically people don't want to just buy your program or solution. They want to buy being in the energy. They want to buy the result that you've created for yourself or for other people. And if you don't have a system to take care of people, that's what a marketing machine is. It's not about like converting them to sales. I'm not afraid of sales because like I'm not ever hard selling anything. I'm just like, here's a solution. If you have this problem, here's what I would suggest for you. And I told her when we were on the call, like, you do have a problem with your marketing, but it's not social media and it's not your brand. It's your marketing machine. And we are not the team to do that for you. That's not what we specialize in. So let me refer you to somebody who can guide you and consult with you in that way. So PR services are really, really tricky because I think it really feeds on our ego, a lot of us, because we want to be in the magazines, we want the credentials. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that feels like a quick fix, and it's not going to be the thing that converts for sales in your business. Now, that's not always true. Again, I'm talking about for my experience, my size of business, my type of business. Let's talk about a restaurant or a hotel. If you get mentioned as a hotel, a new hotel in Condé Nast Traveler, you are getting people booking at your hotel. Those types of PR services, especially hospitality, travel, restaurants, beauty, all of these things, getting exposure in the right place can make or break the success of your business if you have the right people co-signing for you. But I just have learned so much about this over the years because when I was in high school, I used to religiously buy Cosmopolitan magazine, Allure magazine. I was a Vogue subscriber, and I would pore over what their beauty recommendations were. But I wondered year after year why Allure's Best of Beauty always had Neutrogena face wash in it that broke me out, dried me out, freaked me out. I'm like, this shit is not good. Why is it winning Best of Allure Beauty every year? Because Neutrogena is one of their biggest advertisers. Every single Allure magazine that you open up, there's going to be at the front of the magazine a 2-page spread all about Neutrogena. They can't nominate another face wash when this company is one of their biggest advertisers. It would be like snubbing your nose at your biggest advertiser who would say, oh, you're going to say La Roche-Posay is the best facial cleaner? Well, fuck you, Allure. I'm pulling all of our advertising dollars for the next year. So it's not always as clean cut as it looks with PR. And for me, that $10,000 did not get me anything. I definitely got some publication mentions. I got some articles out about me, but most of it was pay for play. And I am in the industry, so I know what that looks like. I don't want to participate in that. I didn't want to participate in that at all. And for me, it wasn't anything that moved the needle actually in my business. It really just fed my ego, spent a lot of my time. It wasn't the right team for me, and it was one of my worst investments. On the other hand, let's talk about one of my best investments. One of my best investments actually happened within the first 6 months of me starting my business. And it was because of somebody that I met at a Build Your Brand event that was hosted by the beautiful Katie Safford. If you know Katie from Hatch Collective, is that what it was called? I just made that up. I haven't thought about it for so long. Coffee and Conversations in North County. Can we just send some love to Katie Safford? Because she is truly a connector and a community builder. And when I was a business baby, I went to some of her events and I met my tax accountant. And she has been doing my taxes since I started my business and has saved me so much freaking money. In fact, the amount of money that she saved me in the first year of doing the taxes for my business versus what I thought was the right thing to do, she saved me double the amount of money that I paid her in one whole year. She saved me in taxes in one fell swoop. And the thing is, thank God I hired her and knew where my weaknesses were, because I ain't never going to learn how to do my taxes better than somebody who does it professionally could do it. You have to know when to hire an expert. And that was one of the first experts that I hired that has not only saved me money, but helped me stay safe and in compliance with that beautiful IRS. Because I don't know how to do things right. So you know you're going to do things wrong. That is one of the best investments, not only in saving money, but in peace of mind. And as my business has grown, hiring people that are smarter than me in specific subject matters have been my best investments. I spend, I'm going to say less than $5,000, but about $5,000 a month on just experts who help me with taxes, CFO services, HR, all of those things, attorney's fees, all the things that I'm not an expert in, and I can hire a professional to do so much better, so much more efficiently and more in compliance than I can. Hire the expert. It is not only worth the money saved, it is worth the peace of mind. With HR, for example, I want to make sure my team is taken care of. I want to make sure we're in compliance with everything. I want to make sure that I don't have to run payroll. It's too complicated. There's too many things that can go wrong. It's people's money. Does not mean that I give away my power or responsibility. I'm the CEO. The buck stops with me, and I manage all of these people. I don't like manage them, like micromanage or manage their time or anything. I'm talking about like I make sure these are the best people for me. They are the best experts. I'm not just doing whatever they say. I'm dangerous enough to make good decisions. But hiring experts is exactly what has made my business grow year after year after year. That includes business advisory. You guys know Jessica Marks is on the show. I work with her every once in a while. She is so damn smart. I love working with her. I love working with Brooke on her team. They are the smartest women that see things so strategically. It is going to save me money in the long run by working with them because they're going to help me grow my business in a more seamless, effortless way to scale without suffering and wasting money and time, hire the experts. I'm never going to hire anybody to do my social media. We do social media at AF Marketing. We kick ass at it. I'm never going to hire anybody to do branding. I'm a creative director. I know what I want. You guys see old money. Like, you know what I like. I'm not going to hire outside of my company for the things that we do best. Social media, strategy, branding, graphic design, but do not call me and ask me a question about your taxes because I can't help you there. Okay, let's ping pong back to let's do another business one, then we'll get into some of the, stick around. If you're not a business owner, I'm going to get to some personal stuff. But the second worst investment I ever made in my life was joining a mastermind. And masterminds are very, very popular for business owners because there is a promise of community, of like-minded community, of people who are also like you in your stage of business. And usually the way that they group mastermind participants together is by revenue. So they'll say if you're over 100,000 but under 500,000, or you make more than $500,000 a year, or you are a seven-figure entrepreneur. I'm so sick of hearing that. A seven-figure entrepreneur. Seven-figure entrepreneur doesn't mean anything, you guys. You're not keeping seven figures of it. You're making seven figures of it and then hopefully paying people really, really well. And like, can we stop talking about revenue? It's about profit. I want to talk about profit margins. That's what matters. Anyway, I digress. Masterminds. I spent $4,000 on a mastermind in 2020, and it was one of the worst investments that I made because I did not have a fun time doing it. Number one, it was all virtual because it was 2020, but we know that, whatever. The thing is there was too many people in the mastermind and there was too much expectation, and it wasn't structured to what I was doing. I signed up for this mastermind because I really liked one of the leaders of the mastermind. I had done a lot of other work with her and really enjoyed being in her energy and her vibe. But the problem with this mastermind was that it wasn't very conducive to the type of business that I was trying to build. So this is not the mastermind's fault. That's Amber's fault. I was trying to build a different type of business, an agency model that wasn't fully an online business where I'm targeting real estate developers. And in this mastermind, all we're talking about is text message marketing and how great it is. Well, that's great. Building community, it's important, 100%. But at that time, I wasn't building a brand like that. At that time, I was trying to build a professional services agency to work with a very specific industry. It was the wrong place for me to make my investment. And the good news is I made really good friends out of it. Friends that became clients, friends that were just friends. I met some of my favorite people out of that. In fact, one of them is a client right now of AF Marketing. I'm obsessed with working with her. A previous client of ours, we did branding for their product that I'm obsessed with. And there were some really good nuggets, but there were also 110 people in this mastermind. And I think I stay in touch with like 4 of them. And that's it, because it was overwhelming. And the expectation of being in that mastermind was not of I'm going to be served. It was like, these are the general lessons. And if it applies to you, it applies to you. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you're expected to very heavily invest in your partners and the people in the mastermind. And I happen to be one of the few marketers in that cohort. And so I opened up my calendar, and then my calendar was bombarded with people who wanted to ask me marketing questions all of the time. And that's great. I love connecting with people. But at one point I was like spending more time on free consultation calls during the week than I was even doing the homework of the mastermind. And I was like, this is not right, because I should be charging for this advice. These people should be paying me for my services, but I didn't have a product to offer them. Remember, I was very early in my baby business at this time. And it wasn't in the spirit of the mastermind to be charging for conversations in that way. So it wasn't the right fit for me. But what I have invested in, and this is going to be my second best investment, has been in really investing in finding the network of people that I want to be around, but in person. Some of the ways that I've done that is with different personal development retreats or conferences or whatever. I went back in my email and I looked at like Tony Robbins, for example. I went to Unleash the Power Within, $697 to go to Unleash the Power Within in Dallas in 2019, I think. And the reason I went there was because I met Carissa Kuchis, I think was her name, such a cutie little spunky redhead, adorableness, who was working for Tony Robbins. I don't know if she still does. I don't still follow her on social. And she came and spoke at one of Katie Safford's Build Your Brand, which was another thing I invested in person. Was so motivating, so amazing, gave us a huge discount so we could go to Unleash the Power Within. Or going to Lori Harder's Bliss Project. I went twice, 2016, 2018 in Orange County. Amazing, amazing community of women, most of whom I met that we were all from San Diego. We met up there. I'm so close with today. In fact, somebody that's going to come on the podcast very soon was also at that conference in like 2016 and is now one of the most important people in my life for such a crazy reason. Again, she's coming on the podcast, but I didn't meet her at that conference. It's so bizarre. When you put yourself in the rooms with the people who are doing the things that you want to do, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whether it's personal development, whether it's religion, whether it's community, it's crafts, I don't know what it is, you've got to go meet with people in person. And those are the types of events, the Tony Robbins, the Lori Harders, the Build Your Brand with Katie Safford, all of those things that I have done to get in the room to connect with other women. I just went to Powerhouse Women with my friend Nicole Glock, one of the co-founders of Sticky Digital. Love you, Nicole. You're the cutest ever. We had the best time together. And we also met so many amazing women there to connect with. I saw a lot of old friends there. I told you guys about this. I ran into my college roommate who was DJing. Shout out Natalia Benson. I love you so much. It's just about being in the rooms with the people that are vibrating on the same level as you. That is where I will continue to invest. Now, my 2025 calendar looks like a lot of real estate conferences. I'm probably going to sprinkle in one rah-rah girl power, girl boss, personal development thing. But as I'm building my business, I'm getting more away from that kind of general motivational speaker, overcoming your trauma type of a vibe. I feel like I've overcome my trauma. Anyway, more focused for me is getting into the rooms in the subject matter that I'm interested in, which for us is real estate, which for us is branding, which for us is marketing, which for me is development, it's building, it's urban planning. So if you're looking for me this year at events, I'll be at those ones. Okay, we're pivoting now into the real deal. We're talking about money, honey. We're talking about the best investments, the worst investments. And these are actual investments, like in the traditional sense, investing in stocks, investing in bonds, investing in all those things. And I was doing a bit of reflection late last year as I was kind of cleaning up my portfolio, doing some tax harvest savings and selling some stuff and buying some stuff and looking at how everything was shaking out at the end of the year. I had an interesting thought. And I was thinking about the best investments that I made, which are easy to pull from my portfolio, the things that have performed the best over time. And you could probably do the math and figure out when I bought them, when I tell them to you. But let's start, we're going to go backwards on this one. Let's start with the best investments that I've made, stocks and funds edition. This is not investment advice. This is just me reporting to you my results. The way that I can do this is I can look at whether I'm in my Vanguard account or my my Chuck Schwab account. You can go in and you can sort by performance returns over all time. There are 4 runaway winners in my portfolio. The first best stock that I have ever bought was Apple. I've had 405% growth in my Apple stock. The next best stock that I've ever bought was Google. I have a 305% return in my Google stock. But I got very lucky with those 2 stock picks. But my God, we all know that those companies were doing well back then. I'm talking within the last 10 years, and they're still doing well now. But if you go back and listen to, I think it's episode 11, my investing episode, where I talk about the top 5 stocks, the top 10 stocks in the S&P 500 20 years ago, it's like IBM and Xerox or something, stuff that literally nobody's talking about anymore. The top and the best performing stocks are always going to change. And if you follow the bogglehead theory of investing, this is the investment strategy of the founder of Vanguard, the original founder of Vanguard. He says, don't buy the needle, buy the haystack. And I got really lucky with those 2 needles at the time that I bought. I do want to say, is it too late? I don't know. This is not investment advice, but also Warren Buffett only first bought Apple stock within the last 10 years I know he sold most of it, but it made up a majority of his net worth. So he wasn't late. He could have made so much more if he invested, I don't know, back when Bill Gates started it. But hell, he still did really well even later in the life cycle. But like, who knows how long Apple will be around and doing well. But I can't predict that. But what I can predict is that something like the S&P 500 is automatically going to rebalance what companies are in it based on their performance. So I can be sure that I'm always going to get the top 500 companies in America in that fund. So I'm going to buy the haystack, not just an individual company. And if I look at some of my other returns, MGK, not Machine Gun Kelly, but MGK, which is a Vanguard Mega Cap Growth Index Fund, electronically traded fund. So it automatically tracks large cap or mega cap growth companies. I've had a 187% return on that investment. And my VTI balanced over all the time that I have invested in it. And VTI is the total stock market index fund, whatever. I've made a blended 100% return on that. So that feels really good because those are command performances. Those have done really, really well for me. But if I look at all of the other stocks that I tried to pick, the individual shares specifically, they're almost all my worst investments, even the ones I got gifted. So my father was very savvy with investing and taught me a lot about money when I was younger, including how to invest. And so one of the investments that I had through him as a gift was Disney stock, because I loved The Little Mermaid. In fact, I loved The Little Mermaid so much that the lore around my story with The Little Mermaid is that my dad took me to go see it in the theaters, and I was having such an incredible time watching that I did not want to leave the movie to go to the bathroom, but I ended up falling asleep and peeing on my dad's lap when I was a child because I did not want to leave the theater when The Little Mermaid was on. I digress. Once again, Disney as a kid, great investment, right? Well, back then in the 90s, Disney was slapping. Disney was performing, but Disney over time has not performed well. And I thought for a really long time, well, Disney is just one of those brands that's never going to go away. It's like a Nike. It's like an Apple. Like, it is an enduring brand. It's a Coca-Cola. It is an enduring brand. It's a great brand. They have had issues over the last few years. Let's call it 10, 15 years. But I always thought, well, it's just a American legacy brand. Of course, I should hold my investment in Disney. But here's the problem with that logic. Let's just play, okay? Let's just say I had $25,000 in Disney stock. And let's say it was gifted to me. That's great. So my basis is zero. Basis is the amount of money you put in to start the investment. It was a gift, whatever. I put zero in of my own money. Somebody gifted me something and it grew to $25,000. That's incredible. That's an amazing investment until you look at the fact that 5 years ago, if I had $25,000 worth of Disney stock, that would mean I had about 173 shares. Let me see here. 173 shares is what I would have 5 years ago times the market price of today. If I didn't buy any more shares, which is $108 a share, I would actually only have $18,750. Just holding this legacy company for the last 5 years, I would have made $0. In fact, I would have lost money in my investment. And you might argue, well, you didn't have any basis to begin with. It's all a gain, right? Yeah, that's totally true. It is all a gain, even though you lost money, except when you think about the opportunity cost. There's a whole episode about opportunity cost, but look at this. If I had $25,000 in VTI 5 years ago, it was about $115 a share. So that would be 217 shares of VTI. Again, that's the total market index fund through Vanguard. If I didn't touch that, didn't invest any more money in that, those 217 shares today would be worth $62,391. So what would you rather have? A gain of more than double in your money or a loss of $6,250 because you just held on to this legacy company? And unfortunately for me, that's what I did for a really long time. That is a perfect example of don't buy the needle, buy the haystack. I had this idea about this company and I kept thinking they're going to turn it around. Disney's an enduring brand. Oh, look, they brought back Bob Iger. But the thing is, it is so hard to predict what one individual company will do. It's much easier to see macro trends. Now, Does this mean that the total stock market or the S&P 500 is always going to go up? Absolutely not. There is no guarantee in investing. But for me, the biggest lesson that I've learned is not taking action fast enough when I see something that's a better opportunity. And then also all of these individual stocks that I've invested in when I wish I would have just invested in the total market or the S&P 500. I'm talking about a lot of them: Starbucks, Redfin, Exxon, I don't know, Procter & Gamble, Philip Morris, all the things. I wish I just would have invested in an index fund. Let's go back to another worst. What are the worst investments that I've ever made? All of the quick fixes that I thought I needed in the beauty department. And I am a sucker for a device. We're talking about everything from the $4 ice roller that you buy on Amazon to those big balls, the massagers, the gua sha, the rose quartz roller thing, the new face, the other new face that was trending on TikTok last year that has the red light and the green light and the blue light, and it goes beep, and you go over your face. It's supposed to change your skin tone. I even have things like the back neck massager that has the long leather straps that you hold in your hands and you like roll it on your back to massage your neck. I'm talking about workout programs. I'm talking about 30-day shred. I'm talking about this program that I bought online. All of the things that I did that I thought I needed to make myself look better quickly. This even includes things like facials, peels, Botox, masseter Botox, which gave me jowls, by the way. No, thank you. All of the things that I did when I was not feeling good about how I looked. And I went to do something to try to change that. I've tried everything. I've done the lymphatic drainage massage. I've done the cellulite treatment. I've done the this. I've done the that. I've done all the things. And none of them made as big difference as this next thing that I'm going to tell you. The best investment I ever made for beauty was breaking up with bad boyfriends. And that, my friends, is free. And that is the glow up you do not know you need. It's not just about bad boyfriends. It's about bad jobs, bad environments, bad friendships, bad relationships, anything that is not serving your highest good. When you own it, own your part in it, and then change the environment or change the variables in your life, you glow different. My friend who's here that I was telling you about in today's Birdie and Bogey, we were talking about after I went through one of the gnarliest breakups of my life. And she was telling me, she was like, within 6 months, like, by the way, that's when I was devastated in Charlotte's guest bedroom and she was feeding me soup. Within 6 months, your transformation was incredible. And it was like, go me. Within a year, I literally had started a business. I had traveled all over the world by myself. I was skinny, healthy, happy, glowing skin, growing hair, all of the things. I was glowing different. I just treated myself with such a higher level of respect. And the problem is that we often don't recognize how things could be better. You know, the old saying they say, if you have a sick fish in a fish tank, you don't medicate the fish if the tank is dirty. You clean the tank. You have to take care of your environment, the people that you're near and around and exposed to, in order to really take care of your health and your wellness. Those are the types of things that are going to make the biggest difference in your life, and that costs you nothing. Every time I've made a change in my life that has put me more on the path to being with the people I should be around, doing the work that I should be doing, I get healthier, happier, wealthier, fitter, and by God, more attractive. I swear to you, I get more attractive. It's all about doing the things that are going to take care of you from an internal perspective. Now, I have another couple of great investments in this category. And the first one is blood work. I've talked about this before in the Health is Wealth episode. Oh my God. And I should have even mentioned this, talk about worst investments, buying supplements off of an Instagram story. All of those supplements, they're like trying to sell you something's wrong and we're going to fix it. Your skin's not glowing, get colostrum. Your hair's not growing, get this vitamin C stuff. You're feeling under the weather, get this. You're feeling skinny, you can't poop, buy this, chew that. You need to get your blood work done. You need to get your blood work done. And I'm not talking about going to your primary care physician or urgent care and requesting blood work. They're not going to get you all the information that you need. You need to go to a functional medicine doctor. I have a great one. I pay her $500 every 6 months to do a custom panel of blood work where they check everything. I'm talking about hormones, cortisol, all the things. I get it done on the same morning of my cycle, like 19th day of my cycle, every time I get my blood work done so that my hormones are always being measured at the exact same time of my cycle. Anyway, it's a whole thing. That has given me more clarity into my health and wellness and what I actually need to do. And it's actually less than I ever thought. What I need to do is like drink a lot of water, rest. I need to take some adrenal support because I'm kind of crazy. My cortisol is always high. And I need to make sure that my androgen levels are low. Sorry, a little bit like HIPAA violation for my health. I don't know. But I'm telling you, just not having to guess and waste money on all of those supplements and all of the things, when your body is functioning optimally, you will get more healthy. You will get more beautiful. Your skin will be better. Your hair will grow. If your hair is not growing, first of all, don't bleach it anymore. But second of all, like eat some protein. I know Lauren Bostic from Him and Her Skinny Confidential. Oh, let me say something so controversial right now. She talks about eating meat all the time, but there's some sleuths on Reddit who think that she does have extensions and might be not telling the whole truth. Okay, there goes my shot at getting on Dear Media. But like, I'm just putting it out there. Let's be transparent. It's fine if you have extensions. My point was, if your hair's not growing, eat some protein. It really does help if you're healthy. So getting your blood work done is so important. The other thing, a personal trainer. That has been one of the best investments I have ever made, but you have to find the right person. I had such an incredible, functional, amazing personal trainer who was so in tune with my body. His name's Noah. He moved to Austin. I love him. I miss him. He was fantastic and really taught me a lot about movement and my body and my strength. He really pushed me. But when he moved, I then had a really hard time finding a replacement until I found my new amazing trainer, Anna, who trains in downtown San Diego. She is insane. She has built so much strength in me. I love working out with her. She's so lovely. And that has been one of the best investments for me because I'm tired. Of course I'm tired. I'm always tired. But when I get to the gym at the end of the day, I'm tired and I cannot push myself. I cannot program a workout and I will skip it if I don't have somebody holding me accountable. In fact, this week, we didn't have coordination in our schedule. And I told her I would go on Tuesday. I did not go on Tuesday. I made steaks with Justin instead, trying to get my hair to grow, eating protein, right? My point is this. For me, the personal trainer is the best investment because they're, again, a subject matter expert. They can look at my personal body, again, tailored to me, not a mastermind, not a program, not a general thing that's made for everybody, tailored to me and my business. That is where I am spending my money and getting the best ROI. And I don't have to think, I just show up. We do a workout that's good for my body, that doesn't stress me out. It doesn't produce too much cortisol. I can still fall asleep at the end of the night very well, by the way. It's incredible. So that functional medicine doctor to get your blood work, a personal trainer to keep you strong and healthy, keep your bones strong. That's going to make such a big difference over time, keep your posture good. And last, the exception to all the tools, the red light therapy mask. You guys, red light therapy is clinically proven for wound healing, cell turnover. It's so good for your skin. If you can get in a red light bed, it's like tanning. It's like 2002. It feels so fucking good. But if you can get a red light mask, it will change the quality of the texture of your skin. I have a Hooga mask, Hooga, or maybe it's Hogga. I'm not sure. I think it was $150. Great reviews. I use it 15 to 20 minutes a day. Very easy after you wash your face. Good investment. Good investment. Let's go back to another one of my bad investments. I already talked about this, but one of the worst investments that I made over a long period of time was investing in the wrong friendships. And the cost to me was my peace, it was my growth, and it was my energy. Because I had friends for a really long time that I thought we would be friends forever because, again, I was seeking that girl group or that closeness. And the thing that happens when you grow, and when you grow at an exponential rate, it can be really hard to stay connected with people in an authentic way when you're evolving so quickly and they're not evolving with you. And one of our clients who I love so much, she's one of the most wise people I've ever met. Her name is Lisa Nichols. She's on Instagram, Lisa to Motivate, if you need a little pep in your step today. She always says that the biggest mistake that people make when they're on a personal growth journey is that they walk through the door of growth and then they try to reach back through and pull everybody with them. And you cannot reach back through that door once you've walked through it and pull anybody through. They have to want to walk through themselves, and then they have to take the steps themselves. You cannot pull people into growth. You cannot motivate people to do what you're doing. You have to do what you're doing and feel so strong and so secure about it and be an example. And the people that are meant to do that will follow you in your example, be inspired by it, go on their own journey. But it's not your responsibility to change anyone, inspire anybody, do anything, make them do anything rather. You are just supposed to go on your own journey. And when you do that, as you grow, you might not connect with people in the same ways that you did before, and that's okay. What's not okay is if you keep investing in energy vampires who aren't taking responsibility for their growth, who are repeating the same patterns with different relationships, different jobs. If somebody in your life is always having a problem with somebody at work, but they're always having a new job, it ain't the job that's the problem, it's the person. If somebody in your life is always having problems in new relationships, it's not the relationships, it's the person. And there is something to be said about being supportive of people in your life 100%. But if there is no growth and you are on a growth journey, I'm just speaking from experience, I spent a lot of time wasted in the wrong friendships and the wrong relationships that were not aligned in pushing me to where I wanted to go next. I love progress. Progress is life. Plants have to grow to live. When they stop growing, they die. People are the same. So for me, a fulfilled, lovely, beautiful, enriched life means growing, changing, evolving, always pushing, always striving, not overdoing it, not overextending, not setting things like I'm not enough or need to do more. I have measuring sticks in my life that I'm very comfortable with that feel good, easy, and fun for me. But when I had friends that were not comfortable with where I was going, they were doing a lot of things over and over again, and then coming to me for support over and over again, it became really draining. And it was not a good investment of my time or energy. Now I have so much more clarity about investing my energy wisely into things that give me life, like being with my best friend, Katie, who's here, like a joy, gives me so much life and fun and happiness and ease. Investing in my relationship with Justin, best ROI of my life. We have the best connection, best relationship. I want to spend time with him. People that are building businesses, doing projects, having fun, doing things that are easy, being lovely, those are the people that I want to spend time with. And I spent a lot of time in my 20s with people that weren't nice, that weren't aligned with where I wanted to be, but I was too comfortable and I was also too scared to make a change. Remember that your brain is trying to keep you safe. That's your brain's number one job, is to keep you safe. Think about caveman days, evolutionarily speaking. You're a very smart girl. I know you are, but your brain is meant to keep you safe. And your brain will keep you safe in something that's familiar because unknown is very scary. And your brain doesn't like the unknown. So if you're in an old relationship that you've outgrown or a friendship that you've outgrown, your brain is usually going to ask you to stay there because it at least knows how to deal with it, even if it doesn't feel good. Even if it doesn't feel good, your brain's going to say, well, at least I know what the variables are. Like, I know how to manage this. If you leave this relationship, if you leave this friendship, if you create a boundary, if you upset somebody else, if you ruffle somebody else's feathers, it's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to feel unsafe. Your brain wants to keep you in community with people. Evolutionarily speaking, being in community is so important for survival. Having friendships and community and partnerships and relationships and family are important because it keeps you alive. Evolutionarily speaking, how many times can I say that in this podcast? If you make a change, it's very scary. If you set a boundary and all of a sudden your tribe is not your tribe anymore, that's very scary for your brain. If this resonates with you, that's your message for today. Just remember that the best investment you can make is to be around like-minded people who are supporting you, loving you, cheering you on. I know you can find those girls or guys in the Old Money Country Club. You can find them here on the podcast. And you can even find them by reaching out to some of our guests, all of the Old Money guests that we've had. And we're going to have so many more this year. they all have one thing in common, and I do not prompt this. This is always the same answer every time I ask, what is the best investment you've ever made? They all say the same answer, my investments in myself. And what they usually mean by that is a course that they took, a program that they learned, education that they had, mentorship, learning something, personal development, all of the things. If you're listening to this podcast, it's likely that you're interested in finance and improving your financial standing in your life, transforming your relationship with money. If that is something that you want in your life, remember that you're not looking for overnight success. You are looking for sustained success and growth over time. Get rich quick schemes don't work. Just like my beauty quick fixes don't work, neither do get rich quick schemes. You're seeing them all over Instagram and TikTok, the influencers that blow up fast and then you never hear from them again. I want to take a different approach with you. I want you to treat your life like you are the CEO of your life. Hire the subject matter experts that you need to succeed. And if you want help with money, budgeting, growing your net worth, understanding how money actually works, the mindset pieces, the things that you don't know are holding you back, you guys, I've got it broken down. It's in Cash Consciousness. Go to oldmoneypodcast.com/cash to register before January 14th to get 2 bonuses, free merch from me. If you want to join later, you can still join in. Make sure you get in to make this year the last year that you struggle with money. Invest in yourself and your financial future. I'm giving you all the secrets. I'm giving you my proprietary monthly money planner, like a budgeting system. We're going to be doing money dates. You're going to figure out how to actually manage your money and stop overspending for good. And you're going to heal all of that trauma that you picked up along the way so you don't have to deal with any limiting beliefs around money anymore. I love you so, so much. I will talk to you on the next episode, and I'll see you in Cash Consciousness, baby. Bye-bye. Feeling rich? I hope so. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Old Money. If you have questions you want answered, email me at oldmoneypodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on social. We are at Old Money Podcast, and I am at your service. If this episode spoke to you, inspired you, helped you, if you took a single note, it would mean the world to me if you could please just take a minute to rate and review the podcast. And if you're not doing so already, subscribe. And if you have friends who like getting rich, please share this episode with them, even if it's just on your Instagram story. And I'd love you more than Jeff Bezos loves Amazon Prime. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you on the next episode. Remember, I'm not your lawyer, I'm not your tax professional, and I'm not your financial advisor. The content presented in this podcast is intended to entertain, educate, inspire, and support listeners in their personal and professional development and does not constitute business, financial, or legal advice. In addition to that, this episode may contain paid endorsements and advertisements for products and services.